morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. My mic is on this time. All right. Hope everyone has had a great week over the past week. Tonight's episode on print and pretzels, we're going to be talking about our new Snapmaker U1, what we're going to be doing with it, some abrasive filament testing, and some other cool things. And maybe doing an unboxing. So hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to grab that box that we're going to do an unboxing of on set, and I'll get right back with you. All right. So welcome back to Print and Pretzels on Wednesday nights here with the Glorious Geeks. I want to give a quick shout out to our 3 newest members of the channel. You know who you are. I don't remember your names right now because it's brand new, but I can check it out. Give me 2 seconds and I will find that information out. It was just showed up today for me. So our newest members. Shadow 91, Evil Cloaker, and PGELHAR. Thank you guys for signing up for the memberships. That really helps support the channel, and I'll get you guys these members-only live streams. I'm super excited about that. We had this one last week. I was unboxing the U1, talking about some of the things that I'm going to do with that. So, and a secret that Snapmaker is going to let me test. So I'm pretty excited about that. Patrick, hello. Todd, how's it going? ST, how's it going? ST, the Sunday stream went good. Nobody was really on because memberships have just started for the channel, but we did get 2 new members this week. We had 1 last week, and I had really fun doing that content. And I got to do like an exclusive for the members. I'm gonna keep some of that under wraps. I will say, if you want to check it out, Snapmaker did ask me to test something. Check out that if you want to be a member, or if you want to wait, that will show up here on set at some point in time. So keep an eye out for that, and you'll get to see it on camera. The NDA that they have is very liberal that they have me on. I just have to share my negative feedback with them first, which makes sense because it gives them a chance to address it. But I won't say what it is. So, but the stream went well. So tonight I'm going to be doing kind of like a continuation of what I was doing on with that stream. So, we got the new Snapmaker U1 set up, unboxed, set up, no problem. I actually, while I was unboxing it, I swapped out the nozzles on each tool head, except for one. I'll tell you about that in a second. 2 hardened steel nozzles. And we're going to be testing some glow PLA because I've really wanted to do abrasive materials. These glow filaments really tear up my AMS units. And it wastes a bunch of the material, and I don't want to waste it because it is a more premium material, costs a little bit more. So the Snapmaker U1 allows me to do that. So that's what I'm doing tonight. Some prints from last week that I'm going to share with you all. This is the articulated crystal dragon from Cinderwing 3D, and it just is amazing. The camera just picks up these flashes so well. And this is out of Strong Hero 3D's PETG. If you want to find a link for that in the comments. It just prints so well and it's so pretty, especially if you have like sunlight. It's so good. Generic, how is the maintenance on Snapmaker? I've seen some people express concerns over taking apart a clogged tool head. I haven't had one. I have not had one yet. Today, this morning, I didn't have a clogged tool head. I did have a piece of filament break off in here, not on this machine, but it was actually on our original one. And I just had to pull the old filament out with a pair of tweezers, and that was it. I haven't really had clogged nozzles. Maybe I'll get one with the glow filament because it does have the abrasive additives to it. But I haven't had that issue, and that's why I want to test the second unit, because I want to make sure that I can hopefully replicate what's happening over there on our first unit for how good and consistent it's been. But if not, experience some of those troubleshooting issues that other users are experiencing. And I'm really going to put this through the ringer as far as much as I can. Additive materials like glow PLA and wood PLA or glow PETG, they're abrasive. If you especially like the panchroma one here, it feels like sandpaper going through here. So I want to see how fast these PTFE tubes wear out, especially these ones, because you have to get these only from Snapmaker as far as I'm aware of. So I want to see how fast they wear out versus if I want to print directly from something in straight to the tool head and what that's going to be like. So I'll be exploring that over the next couple of weeks. I hope that answers your question as best as I can. I haven't had one yet. I don't know if I'm an anomaly, but I haven't. I know some others, some other channels out there have expressed that they've had issues with it, but I really like this machine. And we'll be getting the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro here in the studio at some point to have them side by side, and which ones, what's the pros and cons, the pros, of each unit. Todd Beck, I just ordered a U1 on Monday and I used your affiliate code. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. That's what makes things like this on the channel. So thank you. I want to acknowledge that straight off the bat before I continue on with the question. That really means a lot to me. It will be here on Friday. Originally I was buying the Creator 5, but it was a horrific experience. So I bought the U1. Can't wait. Either one of these machines you're going to be happy with, I'm pretty sure. The Creator 5, that Pro unit, I think is going to be really good for like engineering type materials because it's got the controlled heated chamber. It's slightly smaller bed size, but if there was something that I would recommend for the U1, if you're printing material similar to myself, these cryo plates, it would be something you want to look into. But thank you for using that affiliate code. That means a lot to me. It doesn't cost anybody to use those affiliate codes, but if you are going to buy one of these machines for your workflow, it does help out our channel. And it helps put us on Snapmaker's radar. And I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I'm going to do here in a little bit. It's the next content I'm going to be putting out. Rock 1, how many hours you got on the first one? I want to say as far as hours, I don't know that answer, but I can tell you the amount of tool swaps that I'm at. I'm getting pretty close to 50,000. The middle two have about 12. Middle two tool heads have about 12,000 swaps, and the ones on the outside have about 10,000 swaps. And I kind of alternate them to get an even wear because I don't want one getting like 25,000 versus 700. So I alternate that to keep the wear even on the machine. But it's really getting up there. I think I've only had it down for a couple of times since I got it in early January, and I'm printing some pretty big things on them. This Dragon took an entire day, so it has plenty of hours. I'll be able to get that more information for you for the next live stream. I'll start creating like a log for all this stuff. Iceman74, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. So I reached out to Sunlu because I wanted to start exploring some things for these U1 machines. It's great that these spool holders are on here, but kind of not. So for glow PLA especially, I've noticed one of my film is just sitting over there because it's been sitting on the side over here in the studio for probably 4 or 5 months while I'm not printing glow PLA. And when it absorbs moisture, it can get extremely brittle. So I reached out to Sunlu to see if they would send me a unit for this machine. And they did send me the Filadryer S4. And I want to see a couple of things. How smoothly is it to send filament from this unit through this auto feed assist. Can I get rid of these? And if so, can I put one of these on each side? And then I'll be able to control the temperature in the chamber, or not the chamber, but the filament and the conditions of the filament, and print and dry at the same time. Something to help that workflow out. I know Sunlu's getting ready to release that big dryer system that they have, and stay tuned for that because I'm going to have coverage on that. But that's what another thing that I'm going to explore. What a preview for you all for this upcoming episode that I'm about to drop. It's not the power episodes. I still have those in editing, but something that I want to do for Snapmaker, for our community, and this will be like a voice that you guys can have, because I'm going to send it to Snapmaker and let them know on what we liked about the U1, and more importantly, what we'd like to see from them for the next iteration of this type of tool changer machine. So be on the lookout for that video, because when it drops, I would love to get you guys' feedback as the audience into that as comments, because we're going to send it directly to Snapmaker so that if they are developing something, I don't know if they are or not, NDA or not, I don't know, but if they are developing, I would think they would be. It gives them feedback from our community, our little corner of the internet here, that, hey, this is what we'd like to see. Not just me, but you as the audience. So keep an eye out for that one. It'll be coming probably within the next, I want to say, next 4 or 5 days. I want to get it out by the end of the weekend. So, but what I'm planning on doing with this machine in particular is I really enjoy printing with glow-in-the-dark PLA, but it tears up my other machines really bad. Especially the AMS units, because it'll wear out your PTFE tubes and you have to change them out constantly. And to take apart the AMS unit, it's kind of a pain. It's a little bit easier with the AMS Tube Pro because the filament tubes are right in there. But even then, it can add stress to your hub in there, and there's so many connection points there. With this machine, what I've noticed is there's really a short filament path, and if I want to, I can technically, if I were to have this machine up on the wall like the other one, if I wanted to wall mount filament rolls above the machine, I could technically print just like with TPU that Snapmaker says, straight into the tool head, which would be great because then I don't have to worry about replacing PTFE tubes. But my first test is going to be how fast do these wear out with abrasives, and how much do I have to replace them. Iceman, did you see the U1 MMMU that prints 16 colors they had at the show? Iceman, yes, I did. I'm actually in contact with that developer who's developed that, Eric, the sidecar project. I'm in contact with them, and I'm also in contact with Snapmaker. And I don't know if they are working on something or not, but I would imagine if they have them at the show, that they already got something going on behind the scenes. And I really hope that it is going to be a thing, because I don't know if you noticed, but back in January or February, I put it in a video that if they can do multi-material units with tool heads, with full spectrum printing, that could be a whole new type of printing we're going to develop into. So I did see that. But I printed this one between Sunday night and I want to say it was like Monday afternoon that I printed this articulated snake out of all glow PLA, and it's 4 colors technically. I know you probably only see a couple here, but one of them is the rainbow glow filament that I have on the other side of the machine, and then I have the green from Strong Hero 3D, and a purple from I can't pronounce that name, Isomate, and then yellow from I want to say Elegoo, Glow PLA yellow from Elegoo. But it took a long time, but I mean, it is a huge file when it comes off, and I didn't print it to the full bed size. I think I did 125%, and it handled it like a champ. It didn't skip a beat. With my P1Ss, when I print glow filament, something that big, and this is the max size you can do on the P1S, 125% for this file. I mean, you might be able to squeeze out a little bit more, but I would constantly get retraction issues with those multi-material units because it's just the abrasiveness of the filament just adds so much friction to the motors. didn't have that issue on this. It's just another way that the Snapmaker U1 is an upgrade from printing with these other units. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I can't wait to see what this one's going to be like, because I decided to do a mushroom dragon to where the speckles on the mushroom will be one color. And this is only 2 colors. And I decided to only do 2 colors because Iceman74, I know, I was like, take my money. Yeah, I'm the same way. Take my money. I want that material unit. Don't just give me a filament dryer with this thing. Give me the whole kit and caboodle. I've been saying it for months on the channel. And I think it's going to happen. I just don't know when. Somebody's going to do it. If it's not Snapmaker, it'll be somebody that'll do. They'll combine these auto feeders with a dryer and just make it work. I really like the multi-material unit that was developed by Sidecar, by Eric. He had it to where it actually weighs your spool when it goes in there. What multi-material unit does that? It weighs your spool and tells you how much is left on it. That's really cool. So back to what I was saying. The reason why I'm just using the first tool heads is the first one I was able to replace the nozzle and the other 2 nozzles 3 and 4 with hardened extruders. But the second nozzle, I couldn't replace. I did, but it didn't. I think there's something wrong with the hardened steel nozzle. I'm gonna message Snapmaker and see if they'll send me another one. But it wouldn't read the thermistor right. It would heat up to 293 degrees when it's only supposed to go into 220. So something was wrong with that hardened steel extruder, or hardened steel nozzle. But it gives me an opportunity to test out how fast this standard nozzle is going to wear out, and I'll be able to answer that for people while I'm waiting for the next nozzle to get here. And they're 0.4s, by the way. I haven't had any issues with clogging even on my P1Ss with 0.4 with glow PLA, and I need to knock on some wood. David, hey guys. Generic. It's good to see the kitties doing their OSHA inspections. Yep, they are always running around here making sure that things are working. Sometimes they don't do their job though. Sometimes they lounge around up on the printers. Actually, let me move this roll of filament I got up here. They'll lounge up on the printers because it's a warm bed, and then maybe it's their break period. Initiative Design Shop. Howdy, howdy. Glad I was able to catch the live stream. All right, I appreciate Initiative Design. Yeah, so what we're doing tonight is we're testing some glow filament on PLA on this machine, and I'll probably be doing it over the next few weeks, just so you guys get a good idea of how much glow filament I can run through this thing and just try to tear it up. Because I want to know, is this going to be way more consistent with glow filament than my P1S units? Because my P1S units, they really don't like the glow filament. Whether I'm using the AMS2 Pro or AMS HTs or AMS 1s, it just wears out the PTFE tubes so bad. And replacing these PTFE tubes is much easier, and I can, if I want to, bypass this all completely if I want to mount rolls of filament above our machines behind me on the SCOTUS panel. And David, I've used glow-in-the-dark filament using 0.4 with plans of replacing the printhead. I haven't had to replace the printhead yet. I have a whole different extruder assembly that I can try out, but I don't have a spare tool head, so I should probably get one to have it on hand. I thought I had a tool head, but it's actually just the extruder unit. Glitter and wood filaments wreck the head. So this chameleon print, I've done this chameleon filament, which is from Strong Hero 3D, and it's got glitter in it. I use glitter in these machines all the time, and I haven't had any issues with print quality yet. Again, I say yet. I feel like I've tested that thoroughly on this machine. But I really want to get into, I know glitter filaments, they have a little bit of abrasiveness to it, but when you feel the wood filament that I have and these glow filaments, it feels like sandpaper on the outside. So I can only imagine what that's like going through at a high temperature. So for those of you that just joining a live stream, I reached out to Sunlu and they sent me this unit because I want to try. I need to simplify this and be able to dry at the same time, because my glow PLA, and if you want to know what I'm running, it's in the description as far as glow PLA. it's been sitting out for a few months, and if you don't know this, glow filament and PLA especially in general, if it sits out for a while, it absorbs moisture and it can get really brittle. And brittle filament in these types of setups can break off and cause air printing and all sorts of craziness. Now, I did have that happen once on that unit, and I actually had to take the PTFE tube off, pull it out, and just restart it, or not restart the print, but thankfully I caught it in time before it messed anything up. But it broke off, and during a filament change, I noticed it. It must have been towards the end of a print is when it happened. Dave, it must be user error for me. Catch up on some of these comments. In the new studio setup, I'm gonna see if I can get like a monitor for like a bigger desk, table area, and a monitor that sits up here that I can just look at. So I'm looking forward to that. So shout out to Sunlu for sending this to us. I appreciate them for that. So I would like to know how well this unit's gonna work with this. And we'll get this unboxed this week and probably next week on the live stream. I'll have it set up on the table here, or maybe over on the other side. And this table's gonna get full really quickly. Warhawk 3912 just saw Snapmaker at Rapid TCT 2026, and there will be optional tool heads in the future. I'm looking forward to seeing what's to come. Any inside info? Yes. Yes. That's all I can say. Initiative Design Shop. I have run wood filament through mine a bit. So far, no issues. But I haven't ventured into glow in my Snapmaker yet. So far, no clogs of any of my Snapmaker nozzles. I am the same way, Initiative. I see all the comments all the time. They're like, oh, I have this issue. And in the forums, too, like Snapmaker's forums, I have this clogged issue, I have this clogged issue. I haven't had that yet. So I'm like, I got to get another unit. I got to test it. Is it just my backer unit that I had at Kickstarter? Is it just that good? Or is it like quality control? Like what? I'm going to run some harder materials that I can, because I print toys and I print things I sell at art fairs, and it just makes sense. Like, I'm going to print as much things that can possibly clog it as possible so I can help others figure out what might be going on. 21 hours on my OG printer, 500 on the second, 100 on a third. I need to figure out how much I have on mine. I know it's not stopped since I got here got it here in January 6th is when our first one got here. I just got this one last week. It's amazing on how consistent these printers are, or at least this first one has been for us. Patrick, I had no clog issues either way with my U1. I'm glad that it's not just me. I'm glad that I'm super thankful I'm hearing and seeing others have no issues as well. It gives me a little bit of reassurance that it's not just my backer unit that's so good. And David, when I was talking, I'm sorry, I'll mute that. When I was talking about wood and glitter, I wasn't having failed prints. I just had to replace the nozzle more often. David, I would look at check. Were you using just a standard nozzle? If so, I'd look into hardened steel nozzle. That's what I have on the three of the tool heads here. I don't know if they're able to be ordered or not. I don't know where mine went to. But from Snapmaker, I'm pretty sure they're on their website. But they just work so far. Like I said, I printed this off and it was like a day and a half. Maybe it's hard to remember. I know it was over a day because I started on Sunday. Didn't get done till like Monday late. So, but Gannon, glow in the dark is abrasive. It doesn't destroy the nozzle right away. It takes time. I print glow in the dark. Your nozzles will die early. That's what I'm testing on this U1. I want to see how good these hardened steel nozzles are. Toolhead 1, 3, and 4 have the hardened steel nozzles. Toolhead 2 does not. And right now I'm printing with 1 and 2, and I'll swap them around eventually, but 2 is going to stay for the most part. I printed with all 4 nozzles with this one, and it made it through just fine. I want to see how fast it takes, how long it takes, or how fast it takes to really bore it out. And then I'll be able to say, hey, the hardened steel ones are still functioning just fine. And I unboxed this on Sunday, and as I did the unboxing, I replaced those nozzles. So it's been from day 1. So I'll be able to hopefully provide concrete evidence for everyone. David, yeah, I'm going to switch over to, I don't print with them too much. For me, and that's one of my feedback points for this next video that I'm going to be doing for Snapmaker. Well, not for Snapmaker, but because I'm not sponsored by them, but for the community to send to Snapmaker on what we'd like to see in the next machine iteration. I'd really like to see them start doing hardened steel nozzles just from the start, because I can't imagine them costing that much more versus it would answer a lot of questions, or not questions, but pain points. If you have a hardened steel nozzle, you don't have to buy another one, and it just gives added value at that first purchase. Bardicus, how was the nozzle upgrade process? It was actually really simple. So once I get that 3rd or 4th hardened steel nozzle, I'll actually do a video over it. It wasn't any harder than my P1S units. It's a little different. You pop the back off, and you just have to take the 2 screws out, just like with the P1S, and then you have to pull the connectors off, and then rerun the wire up through the wire loop, and it's done. It wasn't that hard at all. I know a lot of people are used to the quick swap nozzles for the A1 series and the H series, and that they're just a second to swap in and out. But how many times have I had to change them out? This was the first time I've changed a nozzle on this printer. I haven't had to do it for the first one, and I've had it for 4 months. That's the kind of consistency and reliability I really like. Let's get this out of the box here. So this is the filler dryer. It's bigger than I imagined. That's good. I'm really excited for that next product they're getting ready to release. There's the unit. I imagine the power cord's probably inside of it. David, I hope the Creator 5 has a quick change that they are nice when you need it. I don't know. We'll find out. That'll be one of the questions that when we get our Creator 5 in the studio here, that I'll be able to answer. Okay. So I don't know if this lid pops off in here or not. It'd be nice if it did for assembly purposes, but I don't think so. So I'm going to fold this up because, you know, OSHA might get after me. I'm going to undo this tape because there's nothing left in the box. Bardicus, yeah, I'm old school. I don't need a quick change, just a reliable change. I agree. It's nice to have the quick change for the A1 and the A1 Mini, but reliability means more to me. If I don't have to change it, then I don't need a quick change. And that's what's been the story with the U1 so far. David, I have a version of that dryer. Love it. All right. That's what I like to hear. And this kind of stuff is possible because of you all attending the channel, and I really appreciate it, and supporting the channel. If you buy Sunlu Filament, you can use code BeGlorious during checkout. It gets you 3% off, and it just helps out the channel. So it actually saves you money, and it helps out the channel. That's for their Sunlu store. Straighten out this power cord so I can get it over to the power strip. Reorganize some things here. So I don't need these anymore, so we'll put them back here on the shelf. So if you're just joining the channel, or if you're just joining the live stream, over the next couple of weeks / month or so, around that, we will be most likely moving the studio somewhere to a larger setup because the house is moving too. Well, let's say that the other way around. The house is moving, so the studio moves. But it's gonna be a much bigger setup, which is nice. So I'm super excited for that. And I gave them more of an in-depth, detailed information about that on Sunday when I did the member stream. It gets that closer to the pretzel family vibe. Let's check up on some of these comments here. So this is actually pretty nice so far. Got some PTFE tubing. I'm glad to see that. I'm looking at where the filament comes out of here and where these boxes are, and that's interesting. Wonder how much that's going to matter. It might not. It might. I don't know. I've seen some mods that you can take the PTFE tubes and connect them to the front of the filament loaders. I'll probably try to look those up and see what those are all about, because I'll be wanting to do that. I'm gonna get this tested out here. Oh, I gotta assemble those inside pieces. Rollers. I had the Sunlu S4 for my new U1, which, by the way, love the U1. The S4, not so much at first. Rolls of filament that were half used would pivot leading to jams, printed spacers, and it works fantastic. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. That's helpful. I'll see if I can't print spacers for this. Let me see if I can't get you guys a link here too. I wasn't sure if I was going to unbox this on this live stream, but since we're doing testing, it makes sense. Right. Sorry, my computer's being slow. There we go. I updated that description for you all, and then I'll also post this in the chat box here for you. Didn't expect it to take that long. My apologies. There you go. If you want to grab one of those, it's there for you, or one of these. But I'm really excited about this because it's one of the pain points that I really want to solve with this unit, with the Snapmaker U1. It's drying while you're printing because there's really no good way to do it right now. I know they did the I want to say it's Snap Dryer, Polymaker's filament drying system, but to me it doesn't really fix the pain point either. That's why I'm hoping they're going to be developing an AMS unit type for this, like the sidecar project. Get these little rollers in here. So if you're just joining the live stream, we're doing PLA glow testing on the U1. We're really putting the abrasiveness stuff to the test. I know I don't really print with like super abrasive materials like carbon fiber stuff, but PLA glow is pretty abrasive itself. It'll tear my other units right up. There we go. Click them in there. Making sure I'm not missing any comments here. Greasy, I'm about my third Cobra X. Now I'm eyeing the U1. It's a good machine to eye. If you want any hands-on experience with this, let me know. I've got two here if you have any questions. And others in the chat also have machines. I haven't had any clog issues or, you know, outside of, I had a piece of filament snap off in one of the tubes here because it was moist and it broke off. I just had to fish it out of there. I took the PTFE tube off and pulled it out of there and away I went. So if you're printing with PETG, I will say look at your filament profiles, how fast your fan speed is, the side fan. If you're experiencing any lifting. Bardicus, I would say I'm printing. You're saying I'll print a lot of ABS plus sparkle filament. I wonder how hard I'm being on the stock U1 hot ends. If you look at whenever your machine's not printing, if you look at the nozzle hole, if it seems like it's getting bored out, like if it's getting wider than what it's supposed to be, I would say pretty hard. I don't know how much printing you do with that material, but if you do you know, if it's a material you consistently put in, I would definitely think at getting the hardened steel nozzles. It's not a hard upgrade process to do. I did it as I was unboxing this U1 for the 3 that I did, and it just, I mean, it probably added, if I wasn't doing a live stream at the same time, it would have added like 2 minutes to each tool head, because it's literally, you can pop the back off because it's magnetic, and the extruder, or not the extruder, the hot end's right there. David, how do you tell, or is it personal preference? I missed a question, or missed part of that question. I saw the Cobra X. I know it's similar to the A1, but it's got that new tool head that they designed that helps with the multicolor. But if you're really trying to save the filament material itself, uh, I would suggest getting a U1, a tool changer, if you do 4 colors or so, because it's really saved me a lot of filament. I can't stress enough. Just those 2 prints that I showed earlier, 4 colors, it would have purged so much filament on my P1Ss, and any other single nozzle printer that's multicolor. It would just make sense. You'll save your unit cost in filament material. I would say if you print a lot within the first 6 months of owning the printer, I'm pretty sure I've already paid for mine. Where did those other ones go? Uh-oh. Um, huh. Did I put them underneath here? Yep, they're there. That's why I needed like a little parts dish. I actually have the hardened nozzles. I just haven't installed them yet. Wasn't sure if I needed those for this filament. Now I'm I'm second guessing that. Uh, I would say when you have time, just so you can, I would say sleep better at night, not knowing that they're not in there. Uh, I would upgrade them because I don't think you'll regret it, and you'll get the experience of what a nozzle change is like, and you'll understand that if you do get a filament, uh, a bad nozzle for whatever reason, you'll have the experience knowing that it's not that hard to change your nozzles. I think one of my uh, fears, maybe not fear is the right word, but trepidations on these tool heads when I first got the machine is like, oh man, if I got to work on one of these tool heads, what's it going to be like? Just the nozzle itself, when I opened it up, didn't seem too bad. Uh, we'll see what it's like if I ever get a jam. I'll probably do a video on it just to document the first time I get a filament jam. Greasy. I'm probably gonna wait to about 6 months to a year before buying my next printer. I like to sit back and watch the developments. That's a good problem to or way to approach buying a new printer, I should say. Uh, because over the next year, I think a lot of things are gonna come. I think we're gonna get the U1. That's incredible. We're gonna get developments around that, maybe an ecosystem around that. Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro are dropping. They're tool changers. The Creator 5 Pro has an actively heated and cooled containment system. That's really exciting to see. And we have things like the Atom Form printer that's coming out that's going to have a 12 nozzle swapping system whenever that gets to the market. I think 2026 and 2027 will be like the next renaissance period of 3D printing. All right, so there's those installed. Make sure that they roll properly. It seems like they roll well. Set these in here. All right, this roll pretty nice. Because I hadn't printed a thing in over 2 years until I kickstarted the U1. It got me back into the game again. That's excellent to see. Getting people back into the 3D printing world. The capabilities of the U1, I know it doesn't do, I shouldn't say it doesn't do, I know it takes some upgrading to do like engineering materials, but the 3 materials that I use most proactively, most commonly, TPU, PETG, and PLA. To be able to print with those 3 all in the same print is a game changer. If I want to print an articulated toy that has stiff joints, but has like a flexible feel to it for someone who has autism, I can do that. And that's exciting to see. I spent the last 4 years trying to mod printers to do what the new ones do out of the box, right? It's really come a long way. My U1 is in the mail, supposed to be here Friday. I can't wait. I'm excited for you. We just got this second unit on Sunday, and shout out to Snapmaker. They sent it to us because I told them I wanted to do workflow testing and I want to do PLA glow additive to really show off these hardened steel nozzles, because that's a filament that I've wanted to be I've used in the channel before on our P1Ss, and it's a pain point because I don't do a whole lot of glow PLA because it's a pain point. I'm gonna run this through the ringer and see just what kind of trouble I can cause myself with glow PLA because it's so abrasive. Same thing with wood. All the that tiki totem over there, that's a glow PLA print that I did on a P1S. And the other tiki totems are out of wood PLA. And I upgraded to a 0.6 nozzle to do those because it saved filament. And the abrasiveness just tore up my AMS units, whether it was the AMS2 Pro or AMS HTs or the original AMS units. I was changing a lot of PTFE tubes and a lot of maintenance was involved. You can see that in our AMS unit maintenance videos. Snapmaker needs to replicate the add-on someone did with the U1 with the 16 or more colors. David Walton, you're talking about the sidecar project, and I am in contact with Eric, who developed that, and he's doing a fantastic job on working with Snapmaker, and we're going to see something more come out of that, I'm pretty sure, because I wouldn't think that Snapmaker would have invited him to be at Rapid TCT if they weren't interested in further exploring that project. It is my hope, and I put it in a video earlier this year, that that project, in conjunction with the full spectrum printing, could totally change the way we 3D print. Instead of having just the 4 rolls, what if we had the sidecar project that has 16 colors, that you have the 4 colors for the full spectrum, and you have the black and white colors for the shading. It really would create a possibility of endless colors, I think. And the fact, I know I keep saying and, the fact that Eric has got it to where when it goes through the filament change, it's doing it while it's still printing, eliminates the problem you see with like the H2C, where it's got to wait, purge, or not purge, but swap the filament out and put it back in. I know they had this switch thing that came out recently that helps that, but I still don't think you're going to beat that 5-second tool swap. That's incredible. It's heating, it's preloading the filament, and he even said in his video that it's like 80% less purge when it does swap. So I would be interested to see if that does come to fruition, if all of a sudden we do get some sort of mechanism we can put in the back to where it puts a purge chute out in the back. I'm not looking forward to that, but if you want to print in more than 4 colors, it gives you the option to with minimal purge. Let me turn this thing around and turn it on. Oh, can't turn it on if I don't plug it in. David Walton, it's really cool to watch the color switch without the tool head attached. I know, right? Some of this innovation is just mind-boggling. I was talking in the recent video that I'm going to be putting out here in the next couple of days that I want to send to Snapmaker, and if you're just joining the live stream, pay attention to the next video that I'm going to be putting out, because I want to send a video to Snapmaker on you guys' input. I want the community to say, this is what we liked in the comments, this is what we didn't like, and what we, most importantly, would like to see in the next iteration of the Snapmaker U2, whatever it's going to be, whatever they're doing next. I'll cover the things that I can see from my POV, my point of view, but I want to know everyone's intake, because this is just going to have to help Snapmaker, which is open source, which is really important, develop another cool and even better machine. So the innovation is going to be right around the corner for us all. Don't forget to take the plastic piece off the connector. And now we can turn it on. Maybe. There it goes. David, have them send me one. I'd happy to give input. If I had that kind of leverage, that'd be awesome. No. U1 Max tool heads, please. All right, David. So in that video, and I'm going to try to catch up on some of these comments while I'm waiting for this to boot up and do its thing. In this next video, I talk about what I think Snapmaker could do for the next unit to not only give 6 tool heads, but I think 8 would be the right size. And we could get a bigger bed size with not much bigger of a unit. Carlos, I'm not sure if you mentioned it. Did you print with multi-site heads yet to test how the latest firmware works? Multi-site heads? I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. I haven't heard of that yet. I get pretty wrapped up with editing sometimes. Trying to learn that skill. I had nightmares on the paper test or when the Z offset was wrong and went through a glass print bed. Yeah, I remember those days. Manual bed leveling. I'm so glad we're past those. Imagine the U2 with a slimmed down tool head a la index system with 6 heads and a slightly bigger machine. Drool. Yeah. 8 would be great. All right, I see the comments are heating up. This is a preview for the next video. What I talk about is I think Snapmaker could take a page out of FlashForge's book and move the tool heads to the side. Put 4 on one side. Put an AMS style system over here, maybe 2. And then you get 2 colors for each tool head. And then on the other side, do the same thing. 4 tool heads, 2 AMS units. 16 colors. That's easy. Okay. So the bed size is already 270 by 270. If you make this unit slightly bigger and to the side, and you make the unit slightly bigger to the back, you get at least 300 by 300. And I think you could even put an active heater / cooling mechanism in the back of the machine instead of like on the side. And you could put the part cooling fan on in the same area. There's options to have. It just, I think, designing it around that, just take that page and make it their own. Gannon, are you gonna get a FlashForge Creator 5? Yes, I already ordered the Creator 5 Pro. I'm waiting for that to get here. FlashForge is going through their internal whatever it is to get us a review unit. How long that takes, I don't know. But we're supposed to get a review unit, but I've also backed it because I want to be just like you all. I want to be ground level. This is I paid for this machine, and I want to say what I like or what I don't like about the machine. I just want to keep it real with you all because it's just who I am. I don't want to say, yep, buy this thing if I haven't bought it myself. So it just makes sense. And all of you that have supported us on the FlashForge Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro, I appreciate that. We're going to be going through it right with you all. I'm in talks with FlashForge to see if, for those of you that missed the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro launch buffer period, I'm waiting for a response from FlashForge to see if I can get a code to give you all who missed the window that'll at least give you $30 off of a unit that you would like to order. So I'm working through it. I'm just waiting for a response for them. I'm not a sponsor by them at all. I like the idea of the tool changers. I really think it's got a possibility. I saw the first look footage that I put on our Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro videos. I really liked what I saw, especially the Pro version because it's got that actively heated and cooled chamber. There's no purge collection bucket. I will state that, and it is manual loading. But since the spools are on the side, I think it's going to be easy. And should I say it? It's not an AMS type system that's going to be coming out that you see in the first look footage that they showed in TCT Asia. It's a dryer unit, but is designed to work with the Creator 5 Pro to dry while you print, and it makes filament loading easier. It's designed to go from the filament dryer straight to the tool heads. So, again, I can't wait for the comparison videos. Yeah, I'll have the other one right here. or if it's not until we get into the next studio, it'll still be right next to me. I want to have the tool changers on display so I can say, hey, I like this about this one, I like this about this one, and I don't like this about these. Michael, today, 47 hours in, I had trouble unloading printhead 4. Tried 3 times, flashing LED on 4, took head off and didn't see anything. So I reinstalled 2 times, and time I did manual load and forced it. I do want to note something about that reminds me of something that I did with our unit over here. So I did have a tool swapping anomaly one time to where it retracted the filament out of the tool head and it thought it was out of there. And then it tried to put filament into it. And what I had to do is something that sounds similar to what you did. I took the PTFE tube off and I just disconnected it. Had the filament go through, and I manually guided the filament in because there was a slight piece of filament that wasn't pulled out all the way. It must have snapped off right above where it gets pulled out. And with being able to guide the filament by hand, I could have it push the old filament through, and it worked. That was one, I don't want to call it a jam or a clog. It just was something that I noticed that happened once. And it was a user error is what I consider that for myself, because it's not properly drying my filament and it broke off when the tension came onto it. PLA, when it gets wet, can get fragile. So I fully believe that if I had not done that, or if I had properly dried my filament, that issue wouldn't have happened. Darth Vader says, I noticed the Creator 5 does not have PTFE tubes going from the spools to the input. I have a high humidity area and I need everything kept dry. I fully suspect that there will be some sort of community mod, if there's not one from FlashForge already, from that dryer to or from the spools to the dryer, or so on and so forth. That is going to be the pain point I think these companies have to address with these units. They have to address drying while printing, because that's something Bamboo and these other AMS type units still have, drying while printing, but without the cost of purge printing. I would like to be able to have that in this ecosystem. Delivery Boy XD. Didn't FlashForge say they would pretty much monitor prints for printing things like firearms? Kind of concerning, isn't it? I can't really speak on that because it's a very divisive issue, and that's not a political answer I'm trying to give. What that comes from, in my opinion, is there's a lot of fear in the market right now. There's a lot of fear about the ghost guns and this legislation, and I can see it from both perspectives. Again, this is not a political answer. This is just the truth for me. I can see a company saying, hey, if there's going to be a regulation, we're going to do our best to abide by it, because if we don't abide by it and the regulation is passed, we don't get to do business here. And I understand that, but I also understand it from a business and a personal perspective, because that could seem like oversight, and I don't want my stuff monitored. So I understand both sides of the issue. I think over time, all of this is going to wash. I think it's going to be figured out, whether it's through legislation or through the courts, with keeping the legislation in check. But it is important to note that no matter what side you're on, these rules as written, they're not okay. It's way oversight. If you are in one of these areas that it's happening, reach out to your legislator and say, hey, this is not okay. We don't punish before the crime is committed. That's not okay. But that's as far as I can go on that topic, because it's just a hard topic to cover in a live stream, because it's really kind of off the cuff. But I can see it from both perspectives, because if I was a printing company, like a printer manufacturer, I wouldn't want to be told I couldn't do business, because then I don't have a business. But as a consumer, I don't want my stuff monitored. So I understand both perspectives. So I can't say one way or the other, because it's hard. No, I don't want to say something that would upset someone, because everybody has a right to view things the way they want to, because this is life. David, I live in New York State where they have passed the laws. If you run the laws through AI and ask it to break it down, then point out the issues with the enforcement, ChatGPT will tell you it's very hard to implement. It is. It is very hard to implement, and that's going to be one of the points that they're going to. In the live stream that I did break this down on, I looked at the history of technology as it comes out. When cameras first came out, there were so many laws that were potentially or passed that did pass concerning privacy issues, because everybody was like, "Oh, there's a camera now. I'll be caught on camera doing everything, anything," and that's an invasion of privacy. Eventually, the courts and legislation caught up to the technology, and we're in the world that we are today. Same thing with the internet. Same thing with telephones. I mean, it's just right now the world is struggling to, governments especially, is struggling to keep up with the accessibility of manufacturing at home. So I think it's gonna be okay. I think we got some bumpy rides ahead of us, but I'm not one to hit the panic button and say, hey, I think we're in for doomsday. I think we need to be aware of it, but also keep level heads. Michael, since I'm new to this, what is acceptable humidity to run? Local shops in Phoenix say they don't use dryers, but they run print farms. So as a hobby, for now, I would not use much more than 22 to 28%. As far as humidity goes, I think the 20% would be fine. Anywhere in the 20s, 30s. It's really dependent. Some of the presets that I have on the machines are around that range. It's about keeping it out of there. In Phoenix and Arizona, I don't suspect you're going to have a lot of humidity issues. Here in Michigan, in the summer where it gets the rainy season and it gets wet all the time, it can be an issue. Get 50-60% humidity in here, and then I got to get the dryers running, and I got to keep things dehumidified in the basement. So in the grotto here, I try to keep it below 35 in the printing environment and below 30 in a dryer if I can. In Glow PLA, a little bit lower than that, like 25 if I can get it down there. But that's a pain point in the studio I have right now, because I have so much filament, I don't have anywhere to store it. And that's why I'm looking forward to the next unit from Sunlu that I'll be covering here on the channel that they brought to Rapid TCT. It's the I-10 series, and it holds 10 rolls of filament. And if I read it correctly, it does not heat the filament, which is nice because it doesn't upset the filament structurally, but it actively dries the chamber. I don't know how that works yet. I'm looking forward to investigating that. It'll be one of our next coming live streams once I have more information from Sunlu. And now we're entering the section of print and pretzels every week. That 1 hour mark or slightly after, I open it up to you all, the community, to present any questions that you're struggling with your printers. If I can't answer it, or if I don't see it in the chat, usually one of our community members will pick it up, and they'll provide some assistance. It's not an end-all be-all, and take all this advice with a grain of salt, because we're not there with you. We're not troubleshooting with you. We're just trying to provide help and guidance. And proceed with caution, and do your research too before you take any of this advice. Disclaimer. And it's not truly advice, it's guidance. Joey, if you installed hardened nozzles, is there any reason to go back to stainless steel ones? Why not just use the hardened nozzles all the time? That's what I do. My P1S units, hardened steel all the way. It just heats differently. I think they heat slower because they're if I correct me, chat community or replay community if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're like a denser metal, so they take a little bit longer to heat up. But because they're denser, they don't bore out as easily. So let's see, can we turn you on? Oh, I gotta take the plastic off the front. That's helpful. Kind of loud. David, brass conducts heat better than hardened steel. Well said. That's exactly the point I was trying to make. The heat conduction just, there we go. Oh, that's slick. I like that. I like that green LED. I'm all about that flare. So right now it's saying the relative humidity is 44% in this machine. And the stored or preferred value is 25. No, that's the heat, 25 degrees Celsius. It's actually pretty quiet. I'm impressed with this. Even the internal units are quiet. It's right next to my microphone. You probably can't hear it too much. Greasy, do you run the same temps with hardened steel nozzles? I do. With my Glow PLA, I run the same temps for. So right now, for ease of uh, description purposes, all the non-Polymaker filament, which is everything on this thing but this one, I'm using the Sunlu filament profiles just because I've narrowed it down that that's the closest profile that I can get these to print with great quality. And they're just working. And the temperature doesn't change. You can do like filament calibrations to really get the perfect quality on it. But for me, that's a time thing because I print with so many different materials. They're not materials, but brands. I use Sunlu mostly for most of my multicolor prints, but these specialty glow filaments or these special twinkles, uh, those they're scattered. Flash Forge, Strong Hero 3D, some off-brand Amazon ones, and I've really had great success using the Sunlu PLA Plus profile with all these. Greasy, I bought my first hardened nozzle with my printer, but haven't used it yet. Which printer is that? Is it the U1? Changing it out was a breeze. I did it while I was putting the tool heads in. Super simple. Oh, I can tell you right now, the cats are gonna sit on top of this thing. It's getting nice and toasty up here. I mean, not like bad toasty, but it's just like the printer tops, the glass beds. They'll be sitting up here for sure. So it looks like it's got filament inlets on the sides and the top. That's nice. So like if you wanted to use two of these with the FlashForge Creator 5 Pro, you could, because then you can just go from here to the machine. And I'll probably try doing that when we get that unit in here. David, did you do a PID calibration after switching? I did a full machine calibration, yes. Because that was kind of like I did it while I was setting up the machine. So before I put the tool heads on. So I just went through the normal calibration whole settings. That's like when you unbox it. Otherwise, yes, I would have done a PID calibration. Gannon, I'm in Ohio. I've never used a dryer. I've been printing for years, started on the Ender 3 clone. Uh, I've just noticed that I have to do a lot less cleanup when I'm printing with dry filament, especially with Glow PLA or any PLA in general. I don't get the stringing that I would normally get. Some of the some of the like the black and the white that I've been using recently has been out for a little while, and immediately I noticed that there's stringing in between filaments, or the PETG that sits out for a little while. I'll notice that there's like little pit marks on the prints, and that's because when the filament is getting extruded and the moisture that's inside the filament gets superheated, and after it cools, it bursts out of the side of your print, and you'll get little pit marks in it. Is anyone running different size, Joey? Is anyone running different size nozzles on the U1 on the same print? It's my understanding that Snapmaker U1 can do this, but the H2C cannot. Did Snapmaker do what Bamboo hasn't been able to do? No, I'm not, but I can try that. That's actually, maybe I'll order some 0.6 nozzles and throw one on here for the glow prints, because a 0.6 nozzle will allow me to print faster with glow PLA. Right now I'm doing 0.4, but if I can do 0.6 for like some of the infill and then 0.4 for the outside, for the detail, that would make a lot of sense. Carlos, there are two modes in the S4, I believe. Mode 2 runs automatically to keep the humidity down. Nice feature, and a silica compartment at the bottom. I do have some silica that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, believe it or not. That was a shock. Oh, I see where they're at. It smells like a brand new machine. Yeah, Hobby Lobby. So I went in there the other day, and I saw where the filament was, and it's no longer a unicorn. I can actually find it, and there it's in stock. I have some up here. I still have to test. Or actually, it's over there. But now I can get silica packets or silica gel beads in there now for drying filament, and tools for 3D printing. I would definitely say our hobby's grown. Michael, I got in here late. Saw a guy had issues to order Creator 5 or Creator 5 Pro. I did too. So what you need to do is order a unit when stuck in the $10. It then calculates on checkout. Michael, did you use the same email address that you ordered the $10 deposit on? Is that the problem you're having? So I went through with mine because I was like, how is this going to work? How do they know that I got my $10 in there for the $50 off? And I went through it, and I had to use the same email that I got the email receipt from for the $50 deposit. Their system picked it up, and it did show off. It gave me the discount that I was supposed to get. David, you had the same issue? I agree. It wasn't, could have been delivered much more clear. Uh, Even in like the media kit that they gave us, it was kind of like vague on how it was going to work. Uh, I was like, so they do their deposit. I do my deposit because I'm going through it with you all. And how's the system detect that? Uh, that could have, and I'll address it to my contact at FlashForge for the next launch or whatever it is that they do. I think they're going to do one sometime later this year for a dryer. Um, it's just important to have that clarity so that it's a painless, seamless process to go through. David, that was smart. I did it right, but I still contacted them to make sure I did it right. Um, that's smart. If you guys have any problems at all, contact FlashForge support and they'll walk you through it. Just make sure you have that email uh, that you got the confirmation of the $10 deposit, and they'll walk you through it. They're really good about that, from what I can tell. Michael, they need to fix it now since it's live till April 30th. I agree. I'll send a message after this live stream over to my FlashForge contact and let them know your guys' concerns. Darth Vader's son. I saw that someone posted that TPU was available at Hobby Lobby. When I was in there, I remember seeing a lot of PLA silk. I want to say I saw a couple of rolls of PETG, but I didn't specifically look for TPU. That would be interesting because that means whoever's doing that ordering or product, what is it called? Acquisition for Hobby Lobby. They know somewhat about 3D printing, the common materials. I don't know if we'll ever get engineering type materials at Hobby Lobby, maybe. I don't know. The fact that we're getting 3D printing stuff at Hobby Lobby already just tells me that that's how accessible and demand driven the hobby is, because it's a Hobby Lobby. David, I thought they were going to email us about it with a link. I know I got an email. I don't remember if there was a link in it or not. I got an email saying, hey, pre-orders are now, or not pre-orders, but payments can now be made for your, to go through with your printer. Easy. How is the print quality with the U1? The thing I like more than anything is finishing a beautiful print. I'm super happy with it. So let me show you. I printed this guy. Sorry, it's kind of loud. On our other Snapmaker, and it is from this is Strong Hero 3D's Chameleon filament and some of their other PETG filament. And I would say it's pretty high quality. I mean, it's hard to tell on camera here, but it's this is something I would totally sell at an art fair. There's no like pit marks or anything in it. There's no it's hard to see any sort of layer lines unless you like hold it up close to your face. I mean, you really got to look. However, I will say I printed this at a 0.16 layer height because I don't mind sacrificing a little bit of extra time for smaller layer lines. Since we have the U1 and it can do it so much faster, but it just, Strong Hero 3D. This is the Crystal Dragon from Cinderwing 3D. All that information is in the chat if you guys are interested in that. Not too many VFAs. No, I don't see any VFAs. Now, I will say on the bigger model that I did, and you can see it in our shorts. If you want to go check out our shorts, the rubber duck that I printed in silk PLA, for some reason there's no roughness to it, but there's like a ringing on it. I don't know if it has to do with the PLA profile that I used. I used Elegoo's silk PLA profile, but I'm not sure what's causing that. But it looks cool for that. But there's no like rough edges or anything, but it just, the material didn't come out like a shiny gloss that I thought it would be. You could see that there was something going on there, but there's no roughness to it. It's hard to explain. But that's the only material that I've seen that has any sort of, I wouldn't even call it an issue because it still looks beautiful. It's a different effect than I expected. Acid Fly Studios, hey! This thing's actually really nice. I have a hard time keeping my hands warm when it's colder out. Maybe I'll just stick my hands on here for a heat warmer or hand warmer. Oreo, a little more expensive, but it's worth it. Hey, Oreo, how's it going? Dry alumina is best for moisture free. Better than silica. Keep it under 10% and it is rechargeable. Well, I'll have to look into that. Dry alumina. It's actually really nice. Seems like it's got good circulation going on in there. I could feel the air being moved around. David, silk looks awesome, but it's a pain to print sometimes. I agree, silk looks awesome, but it seems like it can have a lot of structural issues that I can tell, but that could be my own lack of knowledge in that material. I don't print a whole lot of silk. I just know it has to get heated higher or temperature higher and print slower. Very nice. I wonder. I like how on the front it's got that status light that indicates whether it's drying or not. I'll take a look at this front panel here. We'll see what the modes are. I know somebody said earlier that there's a mode that you can set it to. I see it here, MO. You can set it to there it is. I don't know if you guys can see it or not now. That looks like the screen gets bleached out on camera. All right. So it's on mode 2. So if it gets above 20% humidity, it'll kick on. That's kind of nice. One of the things that I'm going to be working on the channel here is I'm going to be looking at how can I incorporate an offset cost for drying filament. And one of the things that I'm working with a couple of people in the background and exploring and learning how to do is incorporating solar into a 3D print farm. And I'm excited about that. It's gonna be an ongoing project. Uh, and it just gonna dry clothes. It's gonna be an ongoing project that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start small. I'll probably start with a couple of portable solar panels that I have, and I'll start with their C1000 power unit and see what that's like. And I'll probably try just offsetting power with a single AMS heater and see what that's like. And eventually, I want to do putting all our AMS heaters on a single line, and along with the AMS2 Pro powers that need in there for the AMS HTs too, and any dryers on the same line onto the battery and charging the battery via solar and see how much energy can be saved over time. I have to figure out how to measure that energy too, and that's all like a whole different type of thing that I'm looking at doing. They're kind of like, I'm calling them power projects. So that's especially going to take an effect when we get into the new studio, because I'll be able to incorporate, all right, this power line is dedicated for the battery. So this power line, everything that runs off of this is coming from the C1000 power unit. All right, all the printers are going to be on the F3 3800 power unit because peak power season is coming up here in the next, actually, I think it's in the next few days. I think it starts May 1st and it goes through October here in Michigan. And for 7 hours a day, the electricity rates go up. So I've got to figure out how to offset that cost. And our batteries are going to be part of the explanation for that. David, with solar savings, you use your existing bill and compare to your new one. That's going to be hard because my existing, excuse me, my existing bill, it's going to be a different size facility. I'm going from something that's a 3-bedroom facility, for example, to I don't know, it's going from like a lodge to a hotel. So that's kind of hard because a bigger facility will have more electricity. I think I'm going to try to do like calculate it with wattage or however electricity is measured on the bill. Carlos, have you printed with multi-material on the U1? i.e. PETG with PLA supports or PLA with PETG TPU joints. That's another thing I'm going to be exploring, Carlos, is doing these different types of prints. So some of the print articulated things that I want to do, I want the joints to be printed in PETG, and then the flexi material printed in TPU. Because from what I can tell, those two materials stick uh, really well together. So I want to do that. And then if I need to support anything like that, I can use PLA, and it shouldn't stick to either one of those. David, yes, that makes it harder. Maybe see what a power unit is pulling on an average per day. I think it's somehow I'm going to approach that is what does one AMS heater pull versus for an hour, and then okay, this is how many hours a day I run it versus how much does a P1S use versus a uh, Centauri Carbon or RU1s. It's actually kind of nice to put the arms up here. It's nice and toasty. Where does it vent the material or vent the? That's a question I have. Where does this vent out at? Like the moisture? Or does it just absorb it into the silica stuff? There's got to be vents on it for sure, right? Oh, I see it. Looks like that's why it's lifted off the bottom. Looks like there might be some vents down underneath there. Joey, P2S price must drop now that the X2D is only $100 more. Still leaves a huge hole in the bamboo lineup. X2C in 6 months at $1,200. Uh, it's either going to be the X2C, which I don't know. I don't know if it'll be an X2C or a tool changer. I That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I would hope that bamboo would do something that can at least compete with the U1 at the price point it is. And I know there's specific use cases for the P1 or P2S and the X2C or X2D for engineering materials, and it's not. The comments have been kind of interesting to watch when they come in. I know it's two different workflows for those, but if you're specifically working with multi-material uh, or multicolor and having to deal with purge, I am going to steer you towards the U1 versus the X2D or the P2S, unless you have a specific use case for engineering materials. But if you're in it for a hobby and you want to print with uh, TPU, PETG, PLA, all of those are going to be done really well in the U1. If you want to do engineering grade materials, you can use the U1 still. You're going to have to do a little bit of upgrading. A Panda breath is going to be needed for a heated chamber, and you're going to need to get the pop cap from BQ or Snapmakers when it comes out. And then you can be able to do it. David, if Bamboo comes out with a tool changer, people will be like, what about Vortec? They need to be able to feed the Vortec with zero weight to load next filament. Uh, my curiosity would be if they come out with a tool changer, will it be as well received as the X2D making the P2S less valuable? Will it bother people as much as the Vortec or that situation that occurred with the P2S? Some people had just bought it weeks prior, days prior. Uh, at that point in time, whenever this next machine or whenever Bamboo decides to address the purge issue at the $1,200 price point, the H2C will have been out for a year. So I'm not sure if there will be as much friction if they release something new or not. David, 3988. It took me 2 prints to one. I'm a multi-tool head versus 4 and 1 out. As soon as I had the Snapmaker U1 and I did my first multicolor print on it and I saw how much it saved, I can't look at the P1S the same ever again. And same thing for the P2S or even the X2D. And I say that about my specific workflow with printing with multicolor and for these things that go to art, that I take to art fairs and sell online and stuff like that. That's my workflow. Yours might not be the same. So buy what fits your workflow. Michael, the power pull will vary due to material moisture and time of day, so it's better to do a 24-hour test. Some power units might give running total power used. If not, external MPPT chargers. Michael, one of the things that I'm looking at with that whole setup is there's Anker, and I don't know if there's other companies out there that have it or not, but Anker has the home power panel, and it works with your existing electrical panels. I point over there because that's where ours is. It works with your existing electrical panels, but also can monitor your energy usage and some other cool things. I don't remember them offhand. But my power unit can actually plug directly into that home power panel too. Actually, I can put 2 of them in there, the F3800 specifically. And that's an option that I'm looking at doing for that. And you also get an extra breaker box with it too. But I'm looking at different options as far as solar goes, and trying to really not just address the power issue for the studio, but also help others out there to guide them to help offset their power costs. And I'm starting the series out where I'm going to explain, I've got these in editing right now, where I'm going to explain the power problem. And it's not just one aspect of it. It's power is going to cost more as AI and data centers get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the power draws get bigger. The grid is not upgrading as fast as we would like it or like to see. Or as these world weather events get more chaotic and power outages are more. We had several power outages here in Michigan this past winter, and I'm glad I had our power units because it could have cost me some money. Things like that, all the way down to, hey, something as simple as a BQ build plate or any cool plate. You're going to be able to print at a lower bed temperature, which means you're consuming less electricity, which your electricity going through your breaker box is going to be less. So you may be able to get an additional unit on that 20 amp line. Another bonus to the BQ build plate is if you do lose power, it's not like the gold PEI sheets where if they cool down, they release your prints. I've had several power outages before I got our battery packs to where my print resumed fine because it wasn't released off the plate. I had a couple of issues where my printer didn't resume properly, but that wasn't the plate's fault, that was the printer's fault. Let's scroll back up here a little bit, catch up on these comments. Joey, Bamboo's too heavily invested in AMS and nozzle changers to switch to toolchanger design. I'm not sure they're too heavily invested. Their AMS units, definitely, they're heavily invested. But we see with the sidecar project, AMS units can work with tool changers. I don't think they make them obsolete. If anything, they complement each other, in my opinion. If I had an AMS unit right now that worked with the Snapmaker U1, these side spool holders would not be on here. I wouldn't be looking at the Sunlu AMS dryer because the problem would be solved of having filament on the side that is exposed to air. And the AMS unit is technically, it feeds it in there. You could take this off there. The feeder box. You would have it would be a complete ecosystem to me. So I don't think they make each other. They're not just like one versus the other. I think there's, in my mind, they're made to work together. Darth Vader's son. I have my helmets printing on my H2C and ABS, my other props printing on my U1. Also all my kids' stuff on the U1. Yeah, the H2C, I honestly, if I could afford an H2C and justify it versus if I couldn't get 3 U1 units for the price of an H2C, or right around theirs I would have an H2C already because I have a use case for it. I can print multicolored prints. I have a ton of AMS units I can use with it. I would just need to get the machine and the nozzles to go with it instead of having to get all the AMS units to go with it. And it would make sense. But I still just can't justify the price. If I was going to spend close to $3,000, I get 3 more U1s because my workflow is not engineering materials. Would I enjoy the bigger bed size on the H2C? Absolutely, I would. I can print more on it. But the return on investment for me, for our workflow, is to have more U1 units. Because I also need to state, I don't usually print anything more than 4 colors, but there have been off cases where I got to print 5 or 6 colors. And that's would be an absolute awesome case for the H2C. It's also why I'm excited for the Atom Form Palette 300, because that does 12 colors purgeless, which is exciting whenever that unit gets here. Darth Vader's son, I bought a BQ Glacier for my U1 and never put the stock one on. Yep. So I call, like, it's funny you say that because that's why mine's up behind the machine. I don't even, where did I put the, oh, there, no, they both might be up there, but I don't know if it isn't up there. The one that came with this one too is the same way. I don't know where it went. I just doesn't make sense to me to have this stock PEI sheets anymore. Uh, at least for my need. Engineering materials, yeah, you probably still need those types of foil plates, but for PLA, PETG, and even TPU, when I've been printing TPU, the prints on my BQ plates just fine. David, 3988, I bought a cool plate and I finally used it. It is amazing. Yes, and it's going to save you electricity. If you print at a lower temperature, it'll save you electricity. If you have a power outage, you're going to be just fine, assuming your machine resumes the proper way. I've had it happen to where it doesn't. I've lost a couple nozzles on the P1Ss because they didn't power loss recovery properly, and the print stuck too well. David, I also didn't. I also have spent 1K off suggestions from live chat. Uh, well, uh, hopefully it was in with your budget. And if you got a unit or something, congratulations, you're going to get a new unit. And it's just they work. These Snapmaker U1s just work so well. As this I printed this off. This is the first print that we had. Sorry, Dante. This is the first print that we had off this machine. It took a little over a day, and this is Glow PLA. This machine didn't miss a beat. If I printed this on my P1S units, these 4 colors, which I know it seems like it's more than 4 colors, but some of the main color is a gradient glow in the dark PLA. If I printed this on one of the P1S units, I would not only risk through purge a nozzle clog or a purge chute clog, or I mean, you name it, it just the amount of waste too of glow material, which is more expensive, I probably wouldn't print this many colors on the P1S. I probably do 2 colors at most. But it allows me to print cooler stuff, more colors, and as far as I can tell so far, the U1 is handling abrasives, PLA, glow very well. Right now, oh, that's what I meant to do tonight, guys. I'm sorry, I haven't done it yet. I have the printer cam hooked up and I haven't even clicked it for you guys yet. So we're gonna adjust it here a little bit for you. So that's what I'm printing right now. It's like a mushroom articulated dragon, and it's just the BQ build plates, handling it like a champ. It's going just fine. This particular print, since it's so tall and so big, it's gonna take about, I think it's at 45 hours. But again, I print at 0.16 layer height because I want less lines. Not that 0.20 has got a bunch of lines, but I just like the way it shines. Havoc. I had a SliceWorks cool plate that acted like it was made of super glue and it would not release anything. I've had that with not with this particular green plate, but the one that's on the P1S behind me. Sometimes I have a hard time getting it off there, which is a good bad problem to have. If I say for whatever reason, there's been a couple of times where I've misprogrammed the colors in the AMS unit, so to get like the first layer down, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta stop the print. So I'll stop the print, I'll get the colors right, and I gotta clean off the build plate, and I'm like, oh, I can't get the first layer off because the adhesion is so good. Havoc, I saw that if you put them in the freezer, it helps release the tough prints. I didn't think about that. I'll have to try that out. I actually have a mini freezer over here. Joey, why does the HUC even need a fixed hot end? Just all Vortex with a full use of large build plate, no off limits. Joey, I would actually say, why not have 2 Vortex in a machine? Put all the cooling in the back and the heating in the back. And then you have 12 colors with no purge or minimal purge. I mean, that could have been done. Still can be done. Maybe that's what they'll do next. This is just me thinking off the top of my head. AB6747. I gave up my pre-orders and Kickstarters. I was burned too many times. And that's fair. There have been printers and Kickstarters out there that haven't delivered, and it causes pain. Eufy Make, I think, is one of them. Again, when I change the colors on the U1 after I load the filament, is there a way to have that info load into the slicer without having to input that manually? I'm not sure there is yet. That's part of the whole ecosystem flushing out that Snapmaker is doing. I fully suspect that with the popularity of the U1, Snapmaker was not necessarily caught off guard, but they're working hard to develop. I see constant updates of the slicer, of the software, the firmware. They're working really hard behind the scenes to get it really flushed out. But I'm not aware of one yet. Maybe one of our community members might have that answer. I use standard Orca slicer right now because when I first got my U1, I wasn't a big fan of Snapmaker Orca. Snorka is what some people call it. And it may have gotten better. I'll have to try it again soon. But I use standard Orca slicer and I'm happy with it because I can manage my other machines with it too at the same time. David, you can use alcohol on certain cool plates. I know BQ says I can't remember which one it is, so don't use alcohol without looking at which one it is. One of the plates it's okay to use alcohol on I can't remember if it's the glacier or frostbite, but one of them it's okay to use alcohol on, and the other one it's not because it will remove some stuff off the surface, and you don't want that. But it's one of them you can use it on. I reached out to BQ on that personally, and they gave me that answer. If you need to. David, a live chat about slicers could be helpful. Yeah, I would love to do that. So part of the so I keep saying I have all these video ideas that I'm thinking about doing, and I want to do a video series for new hobbyists or even hobbyists who've been in the hobby for a while, just as a refresher on slicer settings, what the difference is between orca slicer and bamboo slicer, uh, and just help guide new beginners into the hobby because it's a big world you're entering into. It's like what I'm doing about to do with laser engraving. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with laser engraving, but once I unbox that artisan that we got, it's going to be going. I'm going to be going hardcore into uh, laser engraving and then eventually CNC because it just adds more things that I can sell at art fairs. And to me, naturally, if you get into 3D printing, okay, so what's the next step? Well, laser engraving's an additive slash subtractive. It's very similar, X-Y axis. And it makes sense to me that's an adjacent type hobby you can get into. But I got to learn that. I got to learn what that's all like. A light burn, all that kind of stuff. I have a connection over at Great Lakes Laser Supply that's going to help me go through that, and he'll give me. I'll ask a question and it'll point me in the right direction. Or if the community here has any experience with that, drop it in the comments or send me a message over on Discord. You can find us there at the Glorious Geeks HQ. If you search it on Discord, it is publicly available. But I do want to do some slicer stuff because I'm still learning stuff too. Uh, the fan profile for the filament or the filament profile for fan settings. I learned that recently, how to really adjust that. David 3988, I bought the Creator 5 Pro. Awesome, congratulations. We're gonna be going through that with you whenever ours gets here. I think I paid for ours like in the first 12 hours. Uh, once it went live, I didn't even wait for the email. I was like, okay, FlashForge, I see you have it up on the website. I see that it says buy now instead of reserve now. So I went in through and I got ours. So hopefully we'll get that as fast as possible. And through FlashForge is sending a review unit at some point too. I just don't know when because they have internal things they got to go through. But at some point I will have a machine in here to go through it with you all. So I'm super excited about that. And thank you for all who've used the affiliate links for that. It really helps the channel at no cost to you. And we'll explore this machine together. Um, I I I got that first look footage from TCT Asia because I wanted to see machine working before I say, hey, this is what we're getting. You should get it too, if it fits your workflow. So I wanted to have a first look at the very least of what they're trying to release, and we got that. And it gave me confidence on having a second tool changer in a studio to be able to evaluate workflows. What's one unit is going to be versus the other unit. Okay, so this one's got auto feed assist, but the other one doesn't. But that other one has filament loading from the side. Going through that, I'll probably at some point on a live stream when I have both units, I'll go over like Orca Slicer. I'll do it in Orca Slicer. Here's my printer in Orca Slicer. Here's my printer. Here's the FlashForge Creator 5 Pro in the Orca Slicer. Here's the U1. And we'll load up a print through each machine and go through that together. David, I would have bought mine the minute I went live, but I was waiting for the stupid email. I things like this move really fast, and I'm not sure why it happens like that. I don't know why they didn't have the email like ready to click send to everybody. That like there had to be a way to automate it all, and I'm not sure why it happened like that. But I'm glad that you went through with it, and it's going to be your machine soon. I think they stated on the website that the first 1,000 units are expected to ship in early May. And I'm sure they're going to be working on more and more and more of those, just like with the Snapmaker U1 when it came out. They got the first backer ones out, and then they started getting the ones out that could be purchased. So, and it looks like they had 15,000 pre-orders, which is astronomical for a second tool changer out in the market. I'm very happy with what's going on there. Now the machine needs to work when it gets here, because if not, they're going to have a problem. I don't think there's going to be any issues with it working at all, though. We saw it at TCT Asia. It was printing. It was doing its thing. I'm excited to get it and to see. It's got a smaller build size than the U1 does. It's 256 by 256 by 256, and this one's 270 by 270 by 270. So you'll lose, I think it's 14 millimeters each dimension. Havoc 3, yeah, a little bit of buyer's remorse with the S1 Max over the U1 just because I really want a tool changer. I don't blame you. The capabilities of this machine, I have a little bit of remorse not getting 2 units at the at the early bird pricing back in October, because hindsight's 2020. That's I'll give you that too. If I knew back in October what I knew now about the Snapmaker U1, I would have 3 here versus 2, because I would have gotten 2 units without thinking twice, because seeing this how it's worked, it just makes sense. David 398, the 85X works really nice, so I have high hopes for the Creator 5. I think we're gonna be very happy with the Creator 5 when it gets here. I can't say that for sure because I don't have one, but from what I've seen in the early looks, I like the fact that it's got indicator lights on it for one. If there's an issue on the tool head, maybe it flashes a certain number of times to let you know what the issue is. I don't know, something cool like that would be neat. I'm interested to see what happens with the purge though. Like and I say purge, I don't mean actually like color swapping purge. I mean when you first load a filament, that little bit that comes out, what happens with that? I didn't see any collection system. Will the community mod a collection system that sits next to the bed? You can like 3M tape to the panel wall. Those kind of developments are neat to watch the community do. Oh, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, I have noticed that someone out there on the internet, I don't remember where it was, I'll probably try to post it on the Discord if I can find it again. Someone's modded a spacer for the U1 to put the top hat on top of, so you can put the pop status when it comes out on the front. That's pretty cool. I was like, whoa. The pop status is still not available for ordering yet, but it's cool that they did that. They must have an early unit or something. And if you go to BQ's website right now and type in U1 in the search bar, you will find, or maybe you won't find now, but earlier today I did it, the rolly stand that they have for the U1 that's going to be coming out. It looks pretty neat. It looks like you can print inside of an enclosure. I can't remember if it was heated or not. I want to say it was heated, and it just looks nice. I'd like to see what it looks like in real life though. So I'm sure that BQ will start releasing footage and stuff on that as that gets around here. And as far as our PopCat goes, I don't know what's going on with that. I just went ahead and ordered one because I don't know. BQ says they're out of stock in the US warehouse.
So I just went ahead and got one on Amazon. They are available on Amazon. I'll put that link in the description at some point. But I got one. It's going to be coming, and we'll get it on this unit over here. And if you've stuck around for this long on the live stream, and if you remember, check out my most recent live stream on Sunday. I did say that Snapmaker is asking us to test something. It's pretty cool that they asked us to test something. And it's not like a really strict NDA that I can't talk about it. I asked my rep and they said it was fine. I just have to, any negative feedback, they want me to address with them first, which makes sense because they want to be able to address it and change it in the final product. That's what beta testing is all about. So I'm super excited. And check out that live stream because it's that early bird look content that I get out to our members. If I get a secret I can share, I'll share it there first. But eventually, if you're not a member, you will see it appear on set and you'll be like, whoa, what's that? So that's the trade-off. You can either be surprised or you can know the secret. Darth Vader's son. The one video shows the 5 purging into the wiper. That'll be interesting. I'm really excited to see what that look like, what that whole entire setup process is. I saw an early unboxing. I think it was on Figure Feedback's channel, and you don't even have to assemble the tool heads. You just set it in there. It's like a whole, just drop it in there and it locks in. I'm like, well, that's simple. But what does that mean if you have a tool head problem? Like, what does that, can you still change them out as easily as these ones are? Like, this was a pretty simple process. If you just read the directions and make sure that those little red tabs are aligned properly before you slide them in there. And you just got to start with the number 1 tool head first. And it's labeled. AB. It'll be interesting to see if the Creator 5 will be a real competition for the U1. The U1 may have to have too much of a too much of a head start. It may not. I don't know. The Creator 5, or at least the Pro Edition, does something a little bit differently that the U1 doesn't as far as tool changers. So if you print with like engineering materials and things like that, you're going to need to get the pop cap or the edition that Snapmaker is coming out with later this year, and a chamber heater to do engineering materials with this machine. The Creator 5 Pro, from early looks and what they're advertising on the website, you won't need to do that. It comes with active heating and cooling, and it comes with that pop top, whatever you want to call it. It is fully enclosed. So I think the Pro version might be right there with the U1. And if you're going to get the open version, it's cheaper. If you got the early bird pricing, it was like almost $200 cheaper. So I think it may take a little while to catch up because they're just now producing their units. But if they're not going to be right there with the U1, they'll be not far behind. And then anybody that comes after them with the machines, they got to compete with the already 2 competing forces. So assuming the Creator 5 Pro gets here and is just as good as the U1. Michael, I got my email 2 days before the launch saying how to log in 2 different ways, but I kept looking for the link as other guests said. I hope this doesn't give a bad experience to the unit on marketing. I hope not as well. I really hope it doesn't. As far as I can tell, it's definitely people are having to figure it out, and that's not. I don't think that's the look that Flashforge is trying to go for. I'm wondering if something's not working right on the back end, but at least people are able to get their purchases through. Joey, what's the next tool changer to be released? Where's Creality? Uh, so I have a couple of speculations on that. There are a couple of companies out there that I think could be the next in line. Wonder Maker released theirs. They got a Kickstarter going on through that, but I haven't really heard too much about it. I see that some of their backers are getting it, but I haven't really seen any like creators backing it. I think the next two companies to do it, if it's not Bamboo or if they have something come out similar to a tool changer, it'll either be Creality or Elegoo. Creality is known for kind of similar like Elegoo too, for making machines that are similar to other machines at an affordable price too. And Elegoo is really known for doing that because look what they did with the, it wasn't exactly the way I would go about it, but they released the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 multicolor printer and it's like $479, and it's essentially the P2S or the P1S but without an AMS unit. It's got multicolor. It's like the 85X. So, and if you look at the frame of the Elegoo Centauri Carbon and you look at the FlashForge frame for the Creator 5 Pro, they're not dissimilar. They have the spool holders on the side already. I mean, everything's there. Elegoo would just have to develop the tool changer technology on their end or copy and paste or whatever you want to call it. And they have the four lines already coming from the right side. How long is it until they copy what FlashForge did with their Creator 5 Pro and Creator 5 and do it for themselves? That might be the next one coming out. I don't know. Soval is also teased the tool changer. And Index is next. I see in the comments. What is that price point though for the Index for like Prusa? If I say that, I have a hard time with the name Prusa. What does that price point look like? Is it going to be in this space? Is it going to be the $1,200 and below space? Darth Vader's son. I bought the snap dryers for my U1. Printed some mods, PTFE to assist. Do you like the snap dryers? Are they convenient for workflow purposes? AB6747. I bought a couple of 4-roll dryers that may work really well on the U1. AB, let me know. Jump into the Discord. It's the Glorious Geeks HQ, and let me know because that's something I'm actively looking for too, and we can help guide the community through these things. On hey, this is what I'm using for my U1. This seems to be efficient. I think Snapmaker might be addressing the same issue. I don't know. I don't have any like insider sources on that, but that is a pain point of drying and printing at the same time. Oh, just to keep the filament dry, Darth? I mean, it makes sense. Uh, I got to keep these PLA rolls, especially glow filament, dry, or they get really fragile. And part of selling these things at art fairs, as art fairs, I mean, I have a month until our first fair, so you guys will start getting to see that. I'll probably, because I don't want to like, with YouTube, it's hard. I don't want to like water down our algorithm content, so I might do that as like members only videos. Because if I do like what I sell 3D prints as public main source videos, it kind of like waters down the what we already been doing, or I'll figure another way to implement it. But as art fairs come up, it gives me an opportunity to do different things and talk about what I'm selling and how to like market things. So part of selling things at art fairs and such, you have to like label for customer purchases and make things cool, naming conventions, things like that. And one of these things that I'm going to be doing for the glow filament per se is I'm going to be, one of the names I'm exploring is like Wiggle Race, and because they glow in the dark and they're flexible creatures. And they'll be the big versions that hang from the art fair booth, and I'll take pictures and stuff, and I'll post those on not as members content on the channel, but and through like the community tab and stuff to show you guys. But you'll get to understand like what my need is for 3D printing and how I support the local community here, not just through art fairs and stuff, but for like parents and stuff to get like rewards for their kids, for toys and for chores, or teachers for their classrooms and stuff. But it really helps the community, and the community around here in Ludington is really growing around it. David 398, one of my most popular print is a lawn gnome flipping the bird. I'll have to check that out. One of our most popular prints last year, I can't remember who the artist name is right now, for the life of me. These jellyfish, not the clickers that I showcased on one of the live streams earlier, but it's just a jellyfish, but the tentacles are all articulated. And the teachers loved those prints because they're silent fidget toys for their classrooms. I had one teacher buy my entire inventory out. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So it was really nice. And again, if you're into that kind of content, I will do the members videos and stuff like that on those, just because that'll let people know I can label it, and that'll let people choose the content versus it just popping up on their browse feed. That way it keeps the channel clear, but also if you want some more information on this subject, this is available for you here. It doesn't seem like it would be a huge deal to implement, but there doesn't seem to be a demand for it. David 398, I've been offered 24 and I can print 4 per hour. And that's the next thing about this 3D printing business, is figuring out what sells and how much you sell it for, and how many can you fit on a build plate versus how much purge waste. And thankfully we don't have to worry about purge waste with the U1s anymore. But if you don't have a U1, that's something you have to factor in. David, do demand on lithographs too. Those are huge. So that's something that I struggle with as an art fair seller. The light aspects of things, it's hard to sell at these outdoor fairs because the lights don't shine through as well in the sun as they would in an indoor event. I sold a bunch of them at an indoor event this winter that I did early in December, versus the whole summer I maybe sold 2 light boxes. So it just depends on the location and what people in general are visual shoppers. The cooler it seems, the more likely they are to buy it. So like this articulated dragon, when it sits out in the sun, it's like, whoa, I can see that from across the fair. It just makes a ton of sense. So that's something else I had to discover as time went on, is how to display products and things like that. And that's something that's still ongoing too, because as your inventory grows, your booth doesn't get any bigger. So you have to figure out how to maximize your space. David, I'll work out a backlighting setup for you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that offer. But it's just been really enjoyable to do this for all you all, so you can see what we're doing, and now throughout the course of the summer you'll get to see the why behind it, if that's something that interests you. So, but as we're getting into the later stretches of Print and Pretzels here tonight, I want to thank everybody for attending. And all those affiliate links that you've clicked, all those other things, those really support the channel. Members, thank you for being members of the channel. That really helps out the channel, because that like 90% of that comes to us and the other portion goes to YouTube. It just really helps make things like this happen. And we couldn't do that without you all. So I want to say thank you to all you viewers, members, uh, shoppers, all those things. So I really appreciate it. And I'll see you again in 1 week's time here on Printin' Pretzels. Until then, be glorious.